Throw the slack, you fucking moron!
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, ready? I put fucking Tic Tacs in my. Never mind. I put Tic Tacs in my mouth like an absolute idiot, and now I'm like, how do I talk with Tic Tacs in my mouth? It's a podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to Screen Share, a movie podcast about being a way better dad when you're made out of snow than you ever were when you were made out of flesh. My name's Adam Cook.
My name's Calder. You done?
This is
okay. I didn't know if it was my turn.
I've still got the Tic Tacs in my mouth. I'm
okay.
working around them. I could just bite into them, but
no, your teeth are so sensitive. His teeth are like paper. Everybody.
So this is the last episode of 2023.
Whoa!
Next
me,
episode
my.
will be. Oh shit! We got to prepare for January.
You need to do something about what you just did there.
What?
Get rid of it.
Okay. So this is the last episode of 2023. First full calendar year in the books. Well, I guess not yet. Episode's not done.
Yeah, this could go horribly wrong. Especially with the topic of today's conversation.
Yes, we are continuing our month of Christmas films. And this was my last pick. And it kind of bounced around to a bunch of different movies, but we ultimately landed on the best of them all, and that's Jack Frost. 1998 film.
The snowman. Play the fiddle. That's me doing the song that Michael Keaton plays with his boys at the beginning. And girls.
This movie stars Michael Keaton as Jack Frost. He's a part of the Jack Frost Band.
Well, his name is Jack Frost also.
Yeah. And he's a part of the Jack Frost Band.
And
which is, dude, they do the Back to the Future thing where it's like, hey, you gotta listen to this, and turns the phone around.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Listen to the crowd and the music. But in Back to the Future, it like, it's just the way it's delivered makes sense, and it's kind of like a fun bit.
Yeah.
In this one, it's literally just a random man. It's the first second he even appears on screen, and he just goes, he opens his phone. It's a flip phone. He opens it, puts it to his ear, and says, hey man, check it out, and holds it out. What is that conversation?
It's also 1998, so just record it or something. Like if you're a music executive or whatever he is, just keep a tape recorder on you.
Yeah, and we never see that man again.
No, of course. Well, yeah. Because of how the music business works. You know, it's a fucking fucked up world out there.
All right. Sure.
And, you know, the way that they treat these guys when they're doing their music, they're sort of, would you call it kind of ska adjacent?
Nope.
Christmas covers? I mean, there's like a fiddle, and isn't there like a saxophone or something?
No, because during the opening credits, when it's like just like showing a bunch of credits and you hear the like sounds from that little concert, but like you don't actually see it yet, Michael Keaton says something like,
"This is not ska."
Well, he says it's like, my mom always, I forget what it was, but he says something like, my mom always said that music was best when you had a little bit of red, a little bit of green, and a little bit of the blues, or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not blues.
No, it's like
shit
harmonica.
Rock.
But everyone's like, holy shit, this is the new best thing. Which is
that
weird because
jumping.
Michael Keaton wrote like multiple original songs for this movie. So like it's weird for Michael Keaton to be like, yeah, I'm writing some songs, and we have to talk about how legendary they are.
Michael Keaton, notorious for his music. Or should I say, infamous?
I feel like there's like a niche sub genre of movie that is just like when you're watching, you can tell that the whole point of the movie was just to give a specific actor like a playground.
But also, well, here's the interesting thing about this movie. We're kind of just jumping in. Just to let everyone
here's the
know.
thing. Are you going to say George Clooney?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
here's wait. Here's the fun fact. You give me heck about not doing my research.
Yeah, because I got to play Crunker for 15 minutes before we start recording.
You also don't read your texts.
Why the fuck would I read my texts?
So I did the research, so I'm gonna be the guy who says it.
By that logic, I also did the research. But go ahead.
It's my episode, scumbag.
For now, we'll see.
Yeah, this guy keeps changing it. So the movie was released December 10th in Australia in 1998. And then the next day released everywhere else, which is interesting.
Absolutely horrendous way to release a movie in Australia first.
The budget, this is one of the movies that like gives a range.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous
So we usually assume
range.
it's on the higher range.
Mm-hmm.
But it's $40 to $85 million budget.
I
Doesn't
would
matter
believe
where it is
85
on that
million.
range. It was a flop.
I would believe 85 million. I believe 85 million. I do not believe 40 million.
So the box office was 34.6 million. So it doesn't even really matter.
And can I say,
they lost.
adjusted for inflation, that's $160 million. 85 million?
To make that,
Imagine.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on there?
Dude, it is a fever dream of a film. But a fever dream that fed you a bunch of molasses beforehand.
Because it's slow and boring.
A little bit. So before we get into other stuff that's like fun facts about the movie, I do want to say this. First, I'll start with you. What's your relationship to this film?
You know when you like have repressed memories?
Yeah.
And then you're talking to someone and then you're like, oh fuck, I like this thing happened. That's kind of what this movie is like for me, but it's just the face of Jack Frost and the idea that a man can turn into snow.
I caught, this isn't going to be great for the audio listeners, which is all of you. But like every single time Jack Frost as a snowman was on screen, I found myself just like going like this. You know what I mean?
Just like
I just
furrowing
like
your
leaned
brow
into it.
and being like, what the
Yeah,
hell
I just
is
like
that?
squinted and furrowed my brow, just like, what? Like there's just something about it that's like, is this really on my screen right now?
Yeah.
Anyway, my relationship to this film is that it's probably in the top 3 most watched Christmas films from when I was a kid,
You're an
which is
absolute
insane.
psychopath.
But my brother told me the story because I was talking to him about how we were doing this on the pod, and then he was like, do you remember how we got that? And I was like, no. Apparently, at my childhood home, we had a neighbor who we were like pretty close with. She
Dox
was, like, an
them,
old
dox
lady
them, dox them.
Won't. But she like once in a while would just like give Matt and I like she's basically like our neighborhood grandma, I guess. But is the best way to describe her.
Okay.
But apparently she just like recorded this movie when it was on TV. She like
That's
recorded
sick.
it to a VHS and then just gave it to my mom and was like, Matt and Adam might
I
like
think the kids might like this.
basically.
And was
And
there
then
commercials in it?
I watched it 500 times. No, I think no.
Okay.
But like then basically, or maybe she like found it at a thrift store or something and gave it to us. But like, I think it was just one of the few Christmas movies that we owned a copy of, so we would just watch it. I don't even think we'd just watch it around Christmas. I think sometimes I'd toss that shit
It's a
on
good
in
summer
June.
movie. It's definitely a good summer movie.
I mean, he starts to melt.
Yeah, and they finish shooting in like August.
Yeah. Oh, it was very obvious they were that every bit of snow in this entire film is fake snow.
Dude, oh my god. How?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's my relationship to the movie. Watched it a lot as a kid. It was kind of a weird one, but I kind of loved it. Haven't watched it in probably 10 plus years. Watched it again for this. Was excited for you to watch it because I wanted to kind of put a bit of a freak show pick on here. I'm very excited and at the edge of my seat to hear what you thought of the film. Calder, what'd you think?
What did I think? Let's see if I wrote final thoughts at the end of this, because it's kind of like...
Try to stay below like 500 sentences.
It's like seeing your grandma naked. You want to immediately forget it. This movie is boring. This movie does exactly what you think it would do. And also, this movie looks like shit sometimes, but also looks kind of good other times.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yep.
Anytime the snowman's on the screen, you want to kill yourself. Anytime the snowman's not on the screen, you can live another day. It's fine for a kid's movie. It makes sense why a kid would watch it a bunch of times. There's a couple fun things. There's like the action scenes with like the snowball fight and the snowboarding and the hockey stuff is all fun enough. Yeah. But then you've got this weird monster in the middle of it.
I thought you were going to say, then you've got this weird snowman subplot.
Yeah.
But that's the movie.
It's just like...
It's not even like there's a B plot, man. Every scene is just immediately one scene with the snowman to the next scene with the snowman.
Or it's like someone talking about the snowman. It's all about the snowman. Everything is about
or a
the
scene
snowman.
Between characters where the snowman isn't there, and then the scene ends with them panning to show that the snowman was there the whole time. And then it's just Michael Keaton being like, "Oh man, how are you gonna?"
Which is
that's basically the movie.
Insane. Okay, so you have
also,
Michael
for
Keaton.
context, all I know about what Calder thought of this movie before we started recording is he texted me a couple days ago saying that it was wild. Is all he said.
So
which is lining up.
You're making a movie. You think you have George Clooney and Sam Raimi as the star and director. You end up with Michael Keaton and this other guy's name? Troy Miller.
Yes, and the only thing of note that he went on to direct was a Dumb and Dumber prequel that didn't star Jeff Daniels or Jim Carrey.
It's got one of the guys that was on NCIS LA.
Yeah.
And some other guy who's like... But anyway, he also has now become like the Netflix stand-up comedy special director. If you look on his IMDb,
I did see that. Yeah.
It's like George Lopez, Chelsea Handler, all that. It's like B tier, C tier Netflix comedy
like
specials.
He directed like a Bill Maher special.
Yeah, and you're like,
yikes.
And he also directed the last 2 seasons of Arrested Development. So, not to be critical of a man who's currently working in Hollywood, but he's not like the heaviest hitter. And this was also an early movie with a massive budget. But like...
Yeah, this was his first feature film.
So, the problems are, I think they go from having George Clooney as the star.
Which they modeled the costume
snowman
for Jack Frost after George Clooney. And apparently they made his face and facial expressions and what the animatronics in the face could do based on George Clooney's acting style, which is weird because I honestly think the snowman looks more like Michael Keaton than George Clooney.
I'm sure they probably changed some stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I also wish it was George Clooney.
I mean, it's not even that. It's just the idea of having Michael Keaton, who's an incredibly good comedic performer and very charismatic, which is kind of why I like the first 30 minutes of this movie. And then now he's just a snowman. And okay, so the snowman design like almost no other snowman I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like how they show how to build a snowman multiple times, and then the time that Charlie builds the snowman for it to be his dad, he makes the bottom ball like a double tall cylinder. Or something. Like it's just like a completely different design.
And then they also remember in Elf with Leon, how Leon glides along the snow. Like he's not.
Yeah.
In this movie, I don't know if you noticed, the snowman like kind of walks. Like his bottom part moves like he's got two legs under there. Mm-hmm. Why are we doing that? That's insane. Isn't that? He's got no legs. Why is he walking?
Well, because he's only ever known how to walk, man. He has to learn how to glide.
I don't care. So he's got a fedora on. Is that a fedora? A mini top hat?
Well, that's the thing. It's not even a top hat. It's like half the height.
Like a short hat? A bottom hat?
I think that would be considered a trilby of some kind.
Of course you would know that name for a hat. Oh, my God.
I only know that because it shows up in some video games.
And move past that. And I just don't understand why you would just have Michael Keaton. I don't know why you would make this movie with a big star.
Dude, because they probably didn't have to pay Michael Keaton shit.
But they had to let him make songs.
It was a voiceover role.
They had to let him make
He was probably like, I'll do this for cheap since I only have to do a voiceover and show up in like 3 other scenes maybe. And I want you guys to like use the songs I make.
Anyway,
probably.
I'm sure that's what happened.
Just
I just like don't like that they've decided to go with like an incredible comedic actor. And then it's like putting a mask on Adam Driver. I guess they did that in Star Wars, but it's just like, why would you cover up an incredible actor when you don't need to?
But,
and it's
but
creepy
truly
as
incredible
fuck.
actors can act through a mask.
He wasn't even there. He wasn't even on set.
Yeah.
And
Well,
also,
what I wrote down was that like a lot of the visuals actually hold up pretty well, and kind of like a lot of the puppet just being, or not the puppet, I guess the costume being in
what was going on? So what happened with it? Was it a puppet or was it a costume?
It's a puppet. I think it's like someone is in it.
That's a hellish job.
I know. I think someone is in it and like puppeteering the mouth maybe, or it's an animatronic of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like puppeting the like little arms for some of it. I couldn't really find anything on it. But like
but it was ILM and Jim
There were
Henson.
some times where the bottom half was definitely like CG of some kind. Because like it would move around in a weird way, but I think like most of it, like the vast majority, is like just real puppet costume snowman, like superimposed, or I guess is that rotoscoped in.
Sure.
But like I think sometimes it's literally just a
1998.
fucking snowman costume, just standing next to human beings. Which
Well,
is
why
when
is it?
it's
How
like,
does it look like such shit then? I guess it's
'cause
just the design of it. It's not even like
the design
fact
of
that
it. It's really the design of it.
Yeah.
Because there would be times where I'd be like, is this like CG or is this real? But I would be like, no, it's real. It just looks weird because you've never seen anything that looks like that. It's a little uncanny valley. I feel like it's not quite like deep in uncanny valley. But like there's a bit that's just like, oh, that's weird.
It's just useless, you know? Just a useless thing to do.
The interesting thing is that sometimes like the visuals like at least I'm just speaking for me. I'm not saying this as an objective thing obviously. But I think sometimes the visuals look good because it is a real thing that's there. So like I'm like, whoa, the way that it's moving and like talking and whatever, like I believe that that's a snowman there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they also
but-
have. Sorry.
Oh, I was just say, but so much of the vocal dubbing by Michael Keaton is just completely off.
Oh yeah, it's
and like
horrible.
the mouth isn't moving at all because they probably recorded the movie and moved the mouth around to the lines that were in the script. But they probably they almost definitely let Michael Keaton like improvise some lines.
Yeah, and he also just says shit weird.
Yeah. So like half of it does not even line up at all.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I love that. I think it looks good because this movie does look like pretty good, and there's some like pretty good shots in it, and like you can kind of tell where the budget went. It's just useless to spend this much money on this movie, but I think partially it looks pretty good because it was shot by like a real DP, Laszlo Kovacs, who was like been working since the 60s up until they made this movie. Not to say that this movie killed him.
This killed it.
Yeah.
It killed his career.
But he shot Easy Rider. He shot a lot of like B movies in the 60s with Richard Rush, and then worked with Robert Altman, and then Peter Bogdanovich and Hal Ashby and Norman Jewison and Martin Scorsese. And he also shot Ghostbusters and Say Anything. But I assume that he probably figured out how to shoot this stuff in Ghostbusters because there's a lot of like puppets and crazy things.
Honestly,
in there.
it feels like to me. I mean, yeah, that's a good point with like the creatures and everything. He probably just understands that. But like to me, the snowball fight, like the first snowball fight, where like pre-dad dying,
that's good.
He like. Yeah, it's great. Like I was surprised. Because I was like, oh, I remember this like being a little snowball fight, but it's like a war film.
Yeah.
For a brief moment.
I was watching it, I was like,
awesome.
oh, is this going to actually be like decent?
Because my guess was that like they probably just let the cinematographer or director of photography kind of like do his thing with that.
Well, the director
so all of a
also
sudden
like
it's engaging.
Was doing music videos and stuff and like in that sort of thing in the 90s. So,
but it
like,
does feel like that's a different movie though. Is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly. It feels like I don't know. It just feels like good. It feels like there's something there. I think the DP
probably just didn't have much to work with everywhere else in the movie.
Yeah,
and then that was the only real place where he could actually do something. Because the rest is just like snowman shot 1, snowman shot 2, interior of house 1, interior of house 2. Like
yeah, it's like there's like 10-minute pockets of good stuff in this movie.
Because when I was watching the first snowball fight scene, I was like, damn, this might actually go pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
And then once I was halfway, I was like, yeah, it's kind of slowing down.
Michael Keaton
we'll
dies,
see.
You can feel it going downhill. You're just kind of like, it's teetering on the edge, and then kind of halfway through, you're like,
did
we're
you
a fucking
know
hour
Michael
into
Keaton
this?
was gonna die?
No, I'd never thought about that at all. Of course I did. I know everything.
Okay.
So this movie, when it came out, was quite poorly reviewed by almost everyone, and still kind of is. Critics and audience are still dropping fucking bombs and Rotten Tomatoes on this movie.
It's at like 17% or something, right?
But one review I saw from Marianne Johansson said, if Jack Frost doesn't prove that Hollywood is not only creatively bankrupt, but actually in the hands of minions of Satan, then I don't know what does.
Jeez Louise.
Robert Ebert.
Can I read you? Oh, dude, you
Roger
better
Ebert?
not steal my Raj, man.
I said Robert, so you can do it.
Wow, you basically don't even know him.
Yeah.
Our buddy Roger Ebert, we like to call him Raj. He's our pal. Gave the film 1 out of 4 stars, writing, "It's possible for the Jim Henson folks and Industrial Light and Magic to put their heads together and come up with some of the most repulsive single creature." Oh, sorry. Come up with the most repulsive single creature in the history of special effects. And I am not forgetting the Chucky doll or the desert intestine from Star Wars. Basically saying, never has there been a more horrifying.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't know. It's not
Can
good.
I be honest? Maybe it's my childhood memories. There's something to me that's like endearing about the fucking little snowman smile and the big beady eyes.
I think when it's just a still image of the snowman, it's fine. It's kind of fucked up looking, and the arms are weird, and the hat's weird, and everything's kind of weird, and the proportions are weird.
Yeah.
But when it's not moving and not talking and not acting like a person, I think it's fine.
That's
when it
true.
starts moving and acting like a person, then you're kind of like, I don't
Can I
want
be
to
honest,
really
though?
see this that much.
I think most of the discomfort with the snowman character is like the fact that he's like doing quips and being like clever and like smooth and like kind of, I don't know what the word would be. Like he's trying to like talk with some swagger. And it's like, no, brother, you're a snowman. Because, like, I don't know. It's just weird for the snowman to be, like, moving and talking. Like, hey, I'm a snowman. Hey, I'm a snowman. I'm your dad. I'm a snowman. Because I'm like, stop. But, like, when it's, like, the scenes where he's like, I'm real proud of you, Charlie. I'm sorry I died. And, thanks for blowing on. Like, when he's just, like, talking regular,
Yeah.
it's, like, okay. But it's when he's, like, being quippy, funny Michael Keaton that I'm like, what is this?
And also, it's not
You know?
funny either. Like,
Oh, yeah, none of it's funny. I think I might have written down, like, two...
the funnious line to
three
me
things that are
was
funny.
after Charlie's dad dies, the kid with the spiky hair
Yeah.
tries to bully him, and then Charlie doesn't really like give him anything, and then he says he's no fun to pick on anymore since his old man died. Imagine, dude. That's insane.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the following line from classic character Rory Buck with his fucking goggles.
The goggles are good.
He goes, after the line you said, he goes, well, it's time he gets over it.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
never
love
met
that.
my old man. And then just walks
sick.
away, and it's like, oh, so that's exposition that'll come back later. Sure enough, he shows up when there's the father-son snowman building contest. They have some eye contact, being like, yeah, we both don't have our dads. And it's like, and then he saves he helps him. He saves his dad at the end, and then they play hockey together. Here's a couple lines I wrote down that I thought were noteworthy. When they're building the snowman and Michael Keaton gets the little stick and puts it, starts to put it where his penis would be.
Yeah.
And then he says, Dad, what are you doing? He says, oh, nose? I thought you said hose. And
I love that.
He's very good at being like character, like of dad, but he's also a bad dad. You know what I mean?
I think he's probably one of the best.
Another line. This line just like sparked a like memory of childhood in me, because this was like a joke from this movie that like bled over into my family's lingo, and that's when Charlie's like, "But Dad," and he goes, "But Dad? Did you just call me But Dad?" And so, like, dude, my family used to say that all the time.
That makes so much sense.
My dad, especially. But
Your dad is
anyway.
insane.
And dude, my I was gonna say the same thing you just said just about my dad, and I was like, that feels wrong to say my dad is insane, because it's simply not true. Another one. Rory Buck calls Charlie Spaz Boy.
I should start calling you that.
It kind of caught me off guard. You don't hear that anymore, man.
Yeah, you don't hear
You do not
spaz a
hear
lot.
that.
Yeah, are you not
I
supposed to
think-
say spaz?
I think you're not really supposed to say spaz. I don't think it's like, it's not like a slur, like like a bad word or anything. It's just kind of pretty disrespectful, I think.
Well, what if you're trying to disrespect someone?
Yeah, I think it's just like best not like. There's other options out
I'm gonna
there,
call
but
you
to hear
spaz
it in this
boy.
film, it was kind of like a surprise. It caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, like when you hear someone say like radical or like gnarly, and it just kind of you're like, oh whoa, you know? Charlie's run away with a snowman or with the snowman, and then the guy goes. And then he goes, no. She goes, no, I'm serious. And he goes, oh, anyway, thought that was fine. Apparently you didn't. Oh, snow bad's better than no dad. Classic.
I'm looking
That's
up the
all.
word spaz here.
Okay.
I think it's just to be more sensitive of cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I won't call you spaz boy.
Thanks. Yeah.
Unless
I don't
you're
think it's like
being
a bad
bad.
word. It's just rude. Anyway, what do we talk about here?
I
What
don't
were
know.
your thoughts on like the beginning when just Michael Keaton kept
I think it was too long.
flip-flopping between trying to be a good dad and then actually being a shit dad?
There was one dad. It was one dad mistake too long. Because this movie is also too long. Not that it's like horrendously. It's not even 2 hours. Like an hour 41 or something.
Yeah.
But it's like fucking too long. There's not a lot that happens. It's
No.
like major moments in the plot. Dad's bad. Dad dies. Charlie makes Snowman dad. Charlie and Snowman dad like kind of have a bit of a rift. And then Snowman dad teaches him J-shot. Snowman, weather starts getting warm. Snowman's melting. He's a good dad.
Snowman dad goes to hockey game.
Snowman dad dies.
Snowman dad melting. Snowman dad dies. Real dad there for a second so that he can sing a song.
I
that
was kind of
had-
expecting him to come back to life.
Yeah?
I was kind of
Okay.
hoping for that.
Because I didn't remember. I knew that there was some weird heaven ascension shit that happened at the end. But I didn't remember what. And for for a sizable portion of the movie, I was like, does he fucking take Charlie with him?
It's like the end of
do they just
Close
go, does he just go,
Encounters.
come with me, Charlie? But then a part of me was like, no. I think he might just like be back. But no, he just says like, nah, I gotta go. And it's like, oh, why? And he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's Christmas. Remember when I said that I had to leave on Christmas?
Well, yeah, I realized that I think it's because Charlie, when he blew into the magic harmonica and wished for his dad to be back, which they just reveal to us at the end for some post-mortem exposition, I guess. But he says that he wished that his dad would be there for Christmas. So
Why doesn't he
But
say,
then the
I
thing
wish
is,
my
he
dad
says
is
it
here
was
for
Christmas.
Christmas?
But that's what he said.
When he blew the
Or you
harmonica?
mean he should have said it out loud? You're saying
When he
should have
blew
said
the
it out
harmonica,
loud.
you should have said that. And then this
Yeah,
makes sense.
I agree. I agree. But then here's the issue, though. Charlie wakes up and says it's Christmas, meaning it's Christmas morning.
This all happens in a day?
And then I think it takes a place. Well, it does the beginning bit, time jump a year, and then I think it takes place over like 3 days, maybe 4. But Charlie says it's Christmas, so it's Christmas morning. He goes out and says, "Hey, Dad." He's so excited to have his dad back, and then his dad goes, "I'm dying. I'm gone." And then Charlie's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was only here till for Christmas." Brother, it's the morning. Stick around for the day. Spend Christmas with your family.
Wait, no,
you
but-
fucking moron.
Oh, right, because he took him up to the mountains and then fell asleep or something, right?
Yeah, but that was the night of Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's fucking...
So he could have stuck around. I think he was honestly getting tired of his yappy son. Yappa, yappa, yappa. Not true at all. I thought he was fine, actually.
Do you remember the Cineplex ad with the snowman, where like the kid makes the snowman, then puts it in the freezer, and then forgets about the snowman in the freezer?
Yes, I do.
That is so much better than
That was
this.
a good ad.
It was so much better.
I agree.
Than this.
That is a better short film than this is a film.
Just everything about that is better than this.
Yeah, it basically does everything this movie does, except better and
Makes you cry at the end.
significantly shorter. But yeah, I remember when that commercial came out. I remember people being like, "Oh my goodness, I watched it 500 times and it made me cry." And I was like, pfft. I saw this shit years ago.
It's called Lily and the Snowman.
There you go.
But yeah, it's like nothing compared to Jack Frost. I looked up some of the writers for the movie. Nothing of note, really. Are you telling me to pause, or what was that? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to just keep talking about what I'm talking about, or just kind of play to your whims? Have you messed up your microphone? He's messed up his microphone. So I'm going to tell you about one of the writers. One of the writers, Jonathan Roberts, seems to have gotten rich off writing the original Lion King and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because after...
Calder, I need you to respond to this one.
Respond to what?
When I say bing, you say bong. Bing.
Bong.
Okay, there we go. I'm back. Sorry.
Lion King 1.5, Lion King 2, Lion King 2.5, Lion King 3, all the fucking Lion Kings. Just kind of doesn't do anything anymore. Which is kind of like the ideal life. Also, found out that they're making a live action Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame? Who's going to be the Hunchback?
You.
I could.
Sorry.
Rachel Ziegler?
Yeah. Dude, have you seen the hate for Rachel Ziegler?
Yeah, just leave her alone.
Yeah. She literally said something like, it's not 1980 anymore or something, so the movie's going to be different.
1940.
And everyone's like, she fucking dissed the property that's giving her so much. She has her life because of this. And it's like, shut up.
She's been in like 4 big budget movies.
I know. And every single thing that I see with Rachel Ziegler right now as well, look in the comments, it's all people being like, man, I wish she's so annoying in this video. Wish I could like her if she didn't diss Snow White. It's like, she didn't diss Snow White, man.
She's in the new Paddington, apparently.
That's pretty cool. If
In
that
movie
Paddington
called
movie
Y2K?
isn't a 10 out of 10, it's a waste of time.
You see Wonka?
No.
Why not?
Just wasn't.
She's in Spellbound. Is that anything to you?
I don't know.
Is that Pixar? Is that...
Too much on Rachel Ziegler. So
Okay, sorry. We'll do West Side Story 2021 redone next year.
we'll see. Probably
Talk
not.
about Ansel
Probably-
again.
Probably over my dead body, actually.
I could kill you easily. So this movie hits all of the notes that a family movie should, a movie about a bad dad should, and does.
Yeah.
And a body switch movie also.
Yeah.
Because in body switch movies, when it's like, prove to me you're my sister or my dad or whatever.
Yeah.
This movie has that, but it's one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It's like, you said boy after my name, Charlie Boy. Only
He's
one
like,
man's ever said that.
Okay, where do I go to school? North Dakota. No, in Colorado. What position do I play in hockey? Oh, you're the coach. No, I'm in the defense. And then, come on, Charlie Boy. I'm trying to remember here. Charlie Boy? Oh my God, it's you, Dad. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. I guess you could argue that he
wrong.
also has the voice of his dad.
I've got the voice of Michael Keaton. Hey, kid. You want to come get some candy? I'm your dad. I'm a snowman. Wowza.
I do think...
Do I sound like
here's
Michael
the thing. I
Keaton?
didn't really remember it. I thought that he was going to show him the J shot, and that then Charlie was going to be like,
That would've
whoa,
made
it is my
sense.
dad. Yeah. But then he just calls him Charlie Boy, and he's like, what? And then they do the J shot scene right after. And I was like, dude, you should have just done the J shot and it been like, whoa, no one else can do that except my dad.
This movie is just filled with like almost dead air, where it's just like nothing's really happening. And there's no like characters to a lot of the characters. Like the mom is not really a character.
I do think she's one of the better characters in the movie.
She's one of the better actors for sure, but the character does literally nothing.
Yeah, that's correct.
She goes to work. Her husband dies. She says, "Oh, I'm worried about Charlie," and then it's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's the drummer or whatever, the other guy from the band.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a goddamn thing, really. He kind of talks
even
to
when
Charlie
he shows up,
once.
He sleeps.
Yeah. And then he's the reason why they are in this mess with this snowman, because he's falling asleep all the time.
Also, don't mean to be that guy. Either Michael Keaton's character of Jack Frost is like the biggest narcissist who like makes the world and everyone in his life revolve around him, or everyone in his life are yes people or yes men. Because the fact that he like has this opportunity to do this thing on Christmas and for the 500th time fucks over his son and makes his son so sad. Like he, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. And then his buddy who's in like throughout the movie is like, when are you gonna like tell me to turn around? And he's like, I guess now. And he's like, sorry. And he's like, it's fine. I didn't want to do it either. And then they tell the rest of the band members, and all the band members are like, yeah, we didn't want to do it either. We want to go home. Which is
kind of insane, because apparently this is their big break.
Yeah.
So do none of them care about the music they're playing?
Well, I think it mostly boils down to like what the other guy said, where he's like, if they like us today, they'll like us next week or something like that, which I guess makes sense. But I think it's because most of them have this mentality that they mention Jack Frost having, which is just like that he just loves the music and loves the art, and like the day it becomes a job is when you should stop. Like I think that's kind of the mindset that they're all operating with. But then I'm assuming they just go for it because Jack is excited about the big break. But once he's like, no. But it's so dumb, because it's like, okay, he leaves and he drives for like, I'm guessing 4+ hours, and then is like, never mind, and then drives back.
And everyone's like, yay, thank you.
Yeah, and did none of the other fuckers die on their way back? Like, they all live in the same town. Or at least
but
the other guy does.
It was the windshield wipers that killed him. It's not the car. Or, like, it's not the road, right?
Yeah, but, like, also then Michael Keaton's a dumbass for not stopping when he couldn't see anything. You know what I mean?
It's a fatal flaw of the film, and also one of the scariest things that I thought would happen to me all the time when I was driving, when I was a kid. I'd be like, the windshield wiper's gonna stop working, and I'm gonna have to rub it with my hand or something, and then I'm gonna die. And that's
Dude, I used to have nightmares as a kid, like reoccurring nightmares, where I would be in like the back seat of a van with a bunch of people, and we'd just be like going somewhere, like the grocery store or something. But then, for whatever reason, the car would like lose control, or the person driving it would like be asleep. I think that's usually what it was, is like everyone in the car would fall asleep at the same time, and I'd have to like crawl to the front and quickly, like without knowing how to drive, quickly try to like manage how to, and that would happen all the time. It was just like this panic dream. Anyway, so Jack Frost dies. He goes off the fucking cliff in the snow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's unimportant to talk about the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
Because watch literally any movie where it's like a dad who's too obsessed with his work. Watch a fucking Christopher Nolan movie, and you'll get what the plot of this movie is.
Can I throw one good scene out there? And I think it's only good because I think the two actors are like quite good. Mm-hmm. And that's when Charlie is shoveling the driveway, and then the snow plow like puts more snow where he was shoveling, and then he kind of starts to have a bit of like
Because he
a
sees the
breakdown.
Jack Frost band on the shovel. The sticker. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay. I didn't notice that. I thought he was just freaking out.
Didn't
but
watch the
regardless.
goddamn movie. Oh my god.
But like he starts to kind of have a bit of a breakdown. He starts to like violently hit the snow right as his mom pulls up, and she's like, "Charlie, I can pull in. It's fine." And he's like, "No, it's fine. No, it's fine." He's like hitting it, and he's like, "It's fine." I forget exactly what he says, but like it's pretty clear that he's not talking about the snow. Let's say that.
You're telling me. This kid is pretty good though.
Yeah, because then she gets out of the car and like hugs him and says it's okay. They kind of like fall to the ground. They're both crying, like, and both of them are convincing. And I was like, whoa.
And you know what
And
I
at
would have
this
done if I
point-
was their neighbor?
What?
Pulled my curtains closed. I don't want to see that shit.
I mean, the neighbors did yell at them for having fun outside as a family earlier in the film, which I thought was going to come back in some way, but it just didn't.
No, they put a pipe bomb
but-
in his house.
Yeah.
You missed that part, I think. It was
Yeah,
it was Jack. He pipe bombed them.
But now that I think of it, even that scene, like the little breakdown scene in the driveway, comes before the snowman arrives. I'm trying to think of like a really good scene
With the
after
snowman?
the snowman arrives.
The only good scene after the snowman is the snowboard chase.
Interesting. I was going to list that as one of the bad ones.
Really? I think it's kind of fun.
I think it's fun. I do think it's long. I think they go for too long.
Yeah, the whole movie's long though, you know. Take what
However,
you can
I do think that the brief snow fight before that is okay. And I think the scene where he's teaching him the J shot is okay.
Yeah.
But aside from that, get the fucking snowman out of there. You know? Get the snowman out of the movie.
One thing I noticed, two things I noticed, and then I think we should just move on to questions and get this hellhole over and done out of it and done with.
Sure, man.
During the snowboard chase, those two kids get crushed by two Raiders of the Lost Ark sized snowballs. Where's
Yeah,
the fuck
man.
is that coming from?
And it made like a hard hitting sound, and I was like,
and I think there's a shot of them being like, so they're like still alive, allegedly, but like,
and I think they show up later. But like, yeah,
They're
at that
dead.
moment I was like, they're dead. I literally started writing those kids died, and then they did the little shot where they're like, oh no, we're in the snow. But I was like, they're dead. And where did those snowballs come from?
no clue. Couldn't tell you.
Incredible.
Number two, Charlie's hockey team has 5 people and a goalie on it, and they're playing 3 full periods. And they're 10 years old. Are you fucking kidding me? You just got one line to play the entire game.
Yeah, and also Charlie quits the team.
So they have
team is
4.
Yeah, so they have 4. And then he rejoins the team, and within the next hour is playing a game. No.
Yeah, he goes straight to a game.
No tournament, no like little league, nothing is doing that. They're not letting a kid in. He just showed up.
Well, Sid Gronick,
Yeah.
he'll do anything if there's a snowman there. He's just so scared.
Dude, I thought there was going to be more. I thought he was going to see him alive again, and it was going to be a callback bit. But no, they just have the radio station announcer make fun of him on the air.
Yeah, so that's insane to have 5 kids on your hockey team. And also sometimes the kids were not wearing their helmets on the bench, which is not happening.
Yeah.
You always have to wear your helmet on the bench when you're 10 years old. That's insane. Overall, not the best hockey I've seen in a movie. Let me tell you that.
No.
But movies tend to get hockey wrong. And sports in general.
I think movies tend to get hockey wrong, even when they get it right. I feel like not many movies are good at shooting hockey in an interesting way. It's like
the
how
Love Guru
Winning
actually
Time.
kind of is.
The Love Guru?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a big hockey plot in there.
But
We'll
it's
do that
like
one
in
day.
the show Winning Time.
Mm-hmm.
The way they shoot basketball in that show, I find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like engaging and different. I've also seen movies that shoot basketball bad, i.e.
Like,
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Or High School Musical.
Sure. But it's just
Space Jam: A New Legacy is like kind of a cinematic masterpiece, though.
I feel like most sports are difficult to shoot correctly. They don't really do it here. I actually think maybe I'd have to go back, but I think the Mighty Ducks movies do a pretty good job.
Yeah. But they're not doing like real things.
No.
Right? They're doing like the flying V and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think Moneyball does baseball interesting, where it like blacks out everything. And then football is kind of like an easy one to shoot, even though I don't think they get the rules right a lot of the time. Because it's just like the ball is only one thing's kind of happening at a time that you care about.
You're thinking
right?
The Blind Side.
I guess, man. What a movie. We should do that in depressing month.
Oh, what did you think of Snowman Michael Keaton attaching a dog to a sled? A dog that is maybe the size of like a pillow.
Yeah.
And
it's a 15-pound
he has
dog.
a whip.
Yeah, did he whip the dog?
Yeah.
Dog's gonna be dead.
And also he was trying to get the dog to go, and the dog's not going, and then he goes, I wonder if there's any cute poodles at the ice rink, and then the dog goes.
I didn't notice that. I was kind of like on death's doorstep as I was watching the third act of this movie.
Oh, sorry. I'm just reading random notes I made and remembering things I wanted to mention. What did you think of when some of the snowboarding guys threw snowballs at them and they landed to make snow breasts?
That was sick. That's incredible.
And he moved them around on himself and then said something like, this isn't gonna do. Or something like that.
And then he took them off
the two breasts into one and takes them off and throws a big snowball.
That's actually like exactly. That's kind of like a dream I had last night, surprisingly.
Who were you in the dream?
I was Charlie. So my dad was behind me as a snowman with snow breasts, fighting off kids in the rear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it must have been crazy to see it and realized on the big screen.
It's kind of like when you see a magician and you're like, is this guy reading my mind or is he just guessing really well? It felt like the movie read my mind.
Nice.
What else do I have on here that I wrote down that felt of at all note? I don't know. I just don't like that you can hear Michael Keaton kind of giving an interesting performance, but then the snowman looks like shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure if there's footage of him like in the VO booth, like he's probably moving his whole body around. And like
there was a couple lines where I was like, oh, that's Beetlejuice in there. Where he like just delivered it like a Beetlejuice
But
line.
can I be honest? That's, I think, the problem for me is I don't think this movie calls for Beetlejuice.
I don't think so either, but I think it'd be better if he was like a real person doing this stuff. Because then it's like, oh, he's a silly dad, an embarrassing dad. In this, it's like, it's a psychopathic killer snowman.
So then what? So fun fact, a year before this movie came out, another movie called Jack Frost came out about a killer snowman. Which is kind of, yeah.
And this snowman's scarier, I think, than that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me look up the other Jack Frost.
The poster is fucking wild.
Oh, he's like licking a candy cane or something, right? Or like,
I don't know.
It's got Shannon Elizabeth in it? Oh. Yeah, that's not very scary.
No.
And if you look at the stills, it's just like, it looks closer to like Leon from Elf than it does to Jack Frost. It's just got a bit of a unibrow.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just honestly think that this movie would be better if it's not because Michael Keaton is bad. I just think it's poor casting.
Yeah, and I think it's also just a poor movie.
Perhaps.
Like he's making copper out of shit. It's not making diamonds or anything.
Did you notice that there's a couple like one shots in this movie?
Yeah.
Like a couple long shots. I was actually kind of surprised and somewhat impressed by some of them.
Yeah. There's a couple where it's like they're going through windows and like
Yeah.
doing some interesting things.
Yeah. Or like moving around the house and going to multiple different rooms and
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you're
I
just
thought it
kind of
was
like,
kinda
oh, wow,
interesting.
they really did spend $85 million in 1998 on this. This was
Yeah.
the bet that they had to make.
nuts. And it was money well spent. Do you have any questions? I have 3.
I have 3 as well, actually.
You want to just alternate?
Yeah.
And then we'll do our wrap up?
Mm-hmm.
I'll start. Is Michael Keaton's harmonica playing in the first scene convincing?
No, I don't think he moves it across his mouth at all.
No, I think he just goes like wah 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 wah
Yeah.
on it with his hand.
Which is like, oh, I just got a harmonica. This is how we play it. I'm sure he actually does play the harmonica because it seems
Oh,
like
sure, but it
that was
was
a thing
bad
that guys
at
in the
this.
90s did.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever tried to play the harmonica?
I've blown a couple notes, but
Same.
I'm more of a trumpet kind of guy. I like to purse the
Are you?
lips. Yeah.
Do you own a trumpet?
You hear that?
Whoa.
Would you rather your dad was a snowman?
Good question. No.
He's okay. Interesting.
Sorry, I just I took that too seriously. I think I was like, man, it would be very fun and funny, but then I was like, no, he'll melt though.
Yeah, he dies every year for like.
And who knows, he
3
might
months.
fucking he might just ascend to heaven one day when he's like, my time here is done.
He's like, you said Christmas. It's technically 12:01 on Christmas Day. So
Yeah, I gotta go.
yeah, I got to go.
Although actually, like, to be honest, if I did want my dad to be a snowman, now's the time, because Christmas was like 2 days ago. He's got a whole calendar year basically.
We don't have a goddamn lick of snow.
No, dude, it's been bad. It'll probably start up in April.
You got the Farmer's Almanac on the table there, or what's going on?
No, I'm just saying. Our fucking climate's fucked up. Your turn for a question.
No, it's your turn because I just asked if your
it's
dad
my
was a
turn.
snowman.
Right. Well, can you answer as well?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm fine with that.
Nice. You the first snowball fight. You're getting out of school and you see that on the out in the playground. You jumping in? You joining in?
I'm
Or you
jumping in.
avoiding it.
And I'm
Okay.
going for headshots. I
And
would
which
like
side?
a refresher on the rules.
Which side?
Probably on the side of the spiky kid. I feel like,
They had the high ground.
and also like, I had a kind of spiky hair when I was a kid,
Sure.
and so I'm like kind
You
of
blonde kids stick together.
yeah.
You know? As for the rules, I think the rules in this is truly try to hurt and maim your classmates.
Because I was like, is it like one hit and you're out? And then the one kid just goes out there and he's like, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. And he's just like shaking his ass at them. And I'm like, okay, he's been hit 35 times. So it's like death. It's until he falls on the floor unconscious.
Yeah. Which is why when it's like, okay, you go distract them. It's like, no, brud. I was about to say brother and then switch to buddy. So I went brud. Anyway.
Brother.
But brother.
Brother,
The
way to do
goal of the
that.
game is to not be hit.
Yeah.
And like when
Or
you
maybe
get
it's
hit,
not.
the only downside is that you got hit. So for him to be like, you go out and distract, that's literally like if we were playing a Nerf gun game where we were just trying to hit each other, and I was like, okay, you go stand in the hallway, get shot a lot.
Yeah. While we
And it's
try to
like-
get this guy not get shot.
Yeah, and it's like
if
what
the
is
guy
point?
can get
just tell
just
the
get
other
shot.
kid to run back.
Yeah.
I know he's a little like younger, but like,
And they have the equivalent of
snowball.
mortar fire on their side where they
you know what
pull
would have
back
made it more
a bunch
interesting?
of underwear or something? What's up?
yeah, they've got like a catapult.
Yeah, man, that's
Slingshot.
insane.
But like it might have made it more interesting if like the bullies team was like putting rocks in their shit or something, or like pouring water on it to make them ice balls. Because then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, there's a reason to
They're
be
kind of
like,
cheating.
yeah. But yeah, I'd be jumping in too, man. I've never been in like a good snowball fight.
They always end poorly, you know?
Well, it always ends when someone gets hit in the face and starts crying.
Yeah, and you're kind of like, okay,
yeah, maybe it
fucking-
was me once in a while.
Yeah,
But,
relax. It's just your eyeball. It's just, you just
But-
pop it back in.
I also remember, I think at school, like, snowball fights were kind of banned. 'Cause it was
Yeah,
like,
it's like an insurance thing.
well, because, like, the argument from the kids, I know because I was a kid, was like, yeah, but all of us understand, like, that we're in a snowball fight and that, like, we've got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But we also understand that, like, if we do get hurt, it's, like, not really anyone's fault. But, like, the thing is, you can't stop other people from joining in on a snowball fight, and then it can kind of get out of hand. Which is kind of, I'm willing to guess that's what happened here.
What magic instrument would you like to bring your father back, maybe?
My father's alive, so fuck you.
Well, yeah, but he's retired.
That's true. What, so bring him back into the gulag of the working
that?
life?
Yeah, just like, you know, he's watching probably a lot of Leafs games or something while your family dinner's on.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's probably watching some games.
Hasn't seen you in 2 years.
That's not true. I literally saw him like 3 times this week. But what was the question? Magical instrument?
What magic instrument would you like?
I don't know. It would probably be something goofy like a slide whistle or like an
I'm
accordion
so sad
maybe.
right now. I wish my dad was back.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
I'm so sad.
I wish my dad
was back.
was here for Christmas.
You're just like doing an Irish jig while you play your accordion in your room, crying.
Yeah, actually, you know what I'd choose? I forget what it's called, but it's a thing that like has a handle and then there's a metal pole that has a wooden ball on it, and then out the other end there's a wooden platform thing. And when you hit it together, it like makes like a sound or something like that. Like it makes like a
I've never seen this in my
I don't know
life.
how to make the sound. Ah, man. What's it called? It's a weird sound.
A squibbity doo. Oh, a skibbity
Yeah,
toilet.
that's the one. Skibbity toilet. Yeah, I'd probably do a skibbity toilet for my magical instrument to bring my dad back for just one Christmas.
It turns out I was talking about an instrument called a vibra slap, and here's what that sounds like.
And
Your
then
question.
You can ascend into heaven.
I should answer that actually.
Yeah,
Spoons.
that's good.
That sounds exactly like spoons, brother. I'm a wizard with the impressions, my guy. Give me something to impress. Too long.
Charizard. Okay, now a Charmeleon.
Charmeleon.
Now a Charmander.
That's like literally
now.
knocking down the doors of Nintendo, telling them I need to get on these games.
New impression I want you to do Bill Clinton today.
I still did not have sexual relations with that woman.
We're moving on. Goodness gracious.
What else do I know about him? He played the saxophone, but that's kind of overshadowed by his other stuff.
Final question from me. You're in a snowball fight, okay?
Another snowball
And
fight
you
question?
And you get one ally. Do you have Buddy the Elf, or do you take Jack Frost, Snowman?
Interesting.
Because both of them have got a motor arm. They've got a throwing arm.
I think
Basically a Gatling gun.
I'm taking Buddy the Elf because he ends it. You know, Jack Frost doesn't end the fight. They get
That's
chased
true.
after. Buddy the Elf, those are kill shots. So
Why did Jack Frost stop throwing snowballs again?
because he
said
dug
he was
into the
out.
dirt a little bit. He couldn't have just moved 2 feet to the
Yeah,
side.
fucking move over and keep going, brother.
or
Kill
just get
that
Charlie
kid.
to keep pushing snow back into the thing. He's not doing a damn thing.
Yeah, he's just standing there going, To be fair, he's probably in shock because his dead dad is back as a snowman.
Get over it.
Because I'd choose Jack Frost. Because worst case scenario, he runs out of snow somehow. He can pull some off of himself.
He didn't
pull
though.
off. He could pull off himself.
He could pull himself off. I thought you meant hose. Fuck, marry, kill. Martin Short's Jack Frost. The Snow Miser. Do you know the Snow
Don't
Miser?
know what that is.
Or Jack Frost from this movie. I saved a link so I can send you who the Snow Miser is. He's from this old Rudolph cartoon.
Oh, the claymation one?
Yeah. There's the Snow Miser.
Oh, yikes. So it's a fuck, marry, kill then.
Yeah, it's a fuck, marry, kill. I'll give you my answer first, and don't let this influence you.
Oh, it won't.
I think I'm marrying Martin Short.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's Martin Short, right? He is Jack Frost. I can't touch him all that much. Maybe we sleep in separate beds like Lucille and Desi, but it's Martin Short. I think I'm fucking the Snow Miser and I'm killing Jack Frost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, on to you, my young Padawan.
Fuck Jack Frost. Wait, is this assuming that we... this has always confused me in this question. If you choose someone to marry, are you not ever having sex with that person?
I've kind of come around on this. This is a critical question to ask, and thank you very much for asking it.
You're welcome.
I've sort of come around on this question because I believe that marry is the highest. I think as a kid,
same.
I thought that fuck was the highest.
See, I've never thought that.
Well, but you came from a Christian household. But
I was always like, when people were like, because I'd say marry whatever option, and people would be like, really? Oh, I'd choose, like, you don't want to fuck them? And because people say, like, it's a loveless marriage. In a fuck, marry, kill, it's a loveless marriage.
Who says that?
Fucking freaks. Say
Wait,
that.
so why would you... I'd kill them. I'd rather kill someone than be in a loveless marriage.
Well, that's the thing. So I assume that it's like...
I assume marry is the highest.
I always assumed it was tiered, where marry's the highest.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck is just like a one-timer.
Exactly.
And then kill is you kill them. That's always what I've assumed. Okay, so with that logic, then, I am going to fuck Martin Short.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because he's humanoid.
Well, he's a human. He's just in makeup in the Santa Claus 3.
Yeah.
We should do an all Santa Claus month next year.
Fuck.
The Santa Claus.
Nah.
Okay, Christmas Chronicles. Christmas Chronicles.
I'm scared. What was this? The Christmas Kringler? What is the one you sent
Snow
me?
Miser.
Snow Miser.
Is this the Kringler? Is that who that is?
Kill that one for sure. And then I'd marry Michael Keaton, Jack Frost. Because there are a couple times, I don't think Jack Frost in this movie is a good dad. He does seem like he's a decent husband.
And he seems like a bit of a tender lover also.
Yeah.
And he can sing you
also,
sweet melodies.
Snowman version, he's a little cutie, I'll be honest. He's got a cute little face, a little smile, almost little dimples even. And also, that boy can manipulate his snow any which way.
I think you're underestimating what Jack Frost can do with the power, or Martin Short can do with the power of ice. Put ice in your ass.
Who would you cast Adam Driver as?
This is another interesting question. How did you come up with that question? I've never heard that one before.
Nice. Are we doing Adam Driver next year? Casting Adam Driver?
We can talk about that later.
Sure. Okay.
We don't have to talk about that now. I don't think so.
I know. It's just a weird part of me is like, if we don't do it, then I feel like it's worth saying this. Well, I guess we can just say maybe. This might be the last Adam Driver.
No, I think
casting.
we'll do it for the ones that are not part of our...
That's fair. Maybe when we finish those, we can do one. Like once we're done each one.
That's a good idea.
We're talking vague.
Vegas, baby! I'm going to cast Adam Driver as Jack Frost.
Same. Yeah, same.
Yeah, there's not really another role that you can have him play unless you want him to play the kid or...
You could have him play the hockey coach.
Yeah, but even then I was like, he's in like 2.5 scenes.
And his role is basically to be angry and to say, don't talk about snowmen, which is pretty sick.
Dude, it's insane. That is insane. And then everyone in the town's like, this guy's a fucking loser. He can't look at a snowman.
Yeah. And the thing is, the radio station that was like, it's so warm, snowmen might be melting, but maybe that's a good day for Gus fucking or whatever his name is.
Sid
Gronick. And then it says, whatever song coming up next on Colorado Central FM. And it's like, oh, this isn't even like, because also
it's like the regional local radio station.
All of the kids on his hockey team are kids from his school. And all of the people you ever see are all connected in the same way. Everyone's like, it's very like small town, you know?
Yeah.
But Colorado Central Radio is like, tell that to Sid Gronick because he's scared of snowmen. And
legendary House League hockey coach Sid Gronick is scared of the snowmen, as all of you know.
Yeah, just wacky, man. But I would also cast Adam Driver's Jack Frost, especially seeing some of Adam Driver's SNL stuff. I feel like he could probably do something somewhat interesting with this and make it kind of fun.
watched that episode with Hillary and it's pretty good.
Nice.
Where are we ranking this? I gotta say first, right?
Yep, you gotta say first because it's my movie.
I don't see how this gets
Wait. Be honest.
I'm being fully honest. I don't see how this gets above 45.
Whoa. Yeah.
Which is like, that awkward moment is 46, 9, which 9 is kind of low. The Wedding Planner, Hardcore Henry.
Dude, the amount of times
Space
that I
Jam,
fight for a
Cats.
movie in the episode and you're like, we gotta put this shit low. And then like 2 months later, you're like, that thing's kind of low. And I'm like, yeah,
I'm thinking
man.
maybe put 9 at like, well, fuck, shut the fuck up. I'll fucking beat you up.
Okay.
Just some vacations at 36. I'd kill myself for that.
Here's the thing. This is not Cats bad, Space Jam bad,
No.
65 bad.
Maybe it's just above that awkward moment. I think The Karate Kid is better than this movie.
I would agree.
But I think this is...
I'd say it's about on par, but I'm fine to put it there.
I think this is better than that awkward moment. Even though that awkward moment does have some hilarious stuff about the boys. And the boys...
it has a very, very funny dildo scene, very swiftly followed by a dead dad scene.
Which is just the tact that you need when you're making a film with Zac Efron. Now in the Iron Claw.
So that's Jack Frost at 46 on our list, right under Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan's The Karate Kid 2010. And right above that awkward moment, thank goodness.
With Zac Efron, Miles Teller, and Michael B. Jordan, one of the best casts on this list.
That's true.
And Mackenzie Davis and Imogen Poots. And is there another girl in it?
I don't know, man.
Just those two.
Oh, no,
there are other
is.
girls in it, but the girl that's Michael B. Jordan's wife.
Michael B. Jordan's wife, but she's barely in it and has a bad story.
Bad character, yeah.
I do think 9 should probably be above Jack Frost.
Take it up with Reshuffle. Take it up with the Council.
I am going to doubt that I'll use my Reshuffle episode to move 9.
You're probably going to try and move
see.
Harry Potter back up. I'd shoot you in the head. I got to stop saying I'm going to kill you. Because you're going to wind up dead one of these days.
And everyone will look at you.
Yeah.
I like how you said you don't have to stop saying you're going to kill me, not because it's mean to me or rude to me, but because you're afraid of what might happen to you if I actually died.
Well, I just don't need the paper trail, you know?
I getcha. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode. I so hope you watched Jack Frost.
It's on Crave.
It's on Crave.
Or HBO
Should've
Max,
said that
I
at
guess.
the beginning of the episode.
Who fucking cares? They'll Google it.
Thanks, everybody,
There it
for
is.
listening to the episode. I have to edit this right away. We'll see if I do that. We'll catch you next year. I don't know what... I don't know. Sorry. Something just happened on cam. I don't know what next episode will be, but it'll be some sort of special episode to celebrate the moving into a new year.
We've got a
We'll
couple
see.
things planned, but we got to figure out kind of how we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
So.
But you can figure that out next week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time. If you watch Jack Frost, let us know what you thought about it. If you're on Spotify with the Spotify question, I don't know how you access that, but you can.
It's just below the
And
episode.
there you go. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. We love you all. Goodbye.
Bye.